Hello, darlings. Let me get myself nice and comfortable. Ah. Well, it is a beautiful, beautiful spring day, isn't it? Fall? Is it fall? Yes, fall. Well, it's beautiful out. We know that much, right? We know that much. Okay. I'm just trying to remember everything in my remote, but I don't think I'm going to remember it all, which is a shame because somebody had said, "What's that clicking?" It's me. It's me. I'm the clicker. I'm moving things around and I'm playing here online and I'm trying to get everything. Trying to get everything organized. First off, first things first, I need to find the stream and join it. Come along. Yes, yes. Take a seat, everyone. If you're just joining us, this is the morning brunch, and we are glad to have you here. Um, we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot of remote views. Be sure and share, like, and subscribe. It would really, really help make my day, and I'm sure you'd be feeling great too. About 2 years ago, how many years ago was it? We started a donation to raise money for policing equity, and we raised almost $21,000. I think close to that. It was after someone had been murdered in their backyard. Was it Trey? Someone remind me of the name. So we started a fundraiser for the Center for Policing Equity, and then Google came in and donated $1 million, took up that, joined us in that fundraiser, and that was kind of a really special thing. So I thought it would be nice if we brought back that fundraiser, just because a lot of people are upset about, rightly so, Trump being elected, the race baiting, the race riots, etc. All of that stuff's got people scared. There's a lot of racism everywhere, right? Amsterdam, some people went to a soccer game, Israelis were killed. It's easy to look at the news and get scared, isn't it? Because there's so many bad, awful, terrible things going on. Um, so before we get started, I just wanted to again announce that we have a new fundraiser if you'd like to donate for policing equity. I know where we're headed. We're headed to robot police. I don't know how you all feel about robot police, but supposedly they'll be programmed to have no prejudice. Let's. But if the people programming have prejudice themselves, how can you have a police robot that's going to be without prejudice? That's simply going to look at data. I don't know how this is going to work, but I predict that we're headed towards robot police security, etc. I predict that it's going to happen starting with the private sector using police drones to secure their lumber yards and whatnot, because it's cheaper than hiring somebody. If you can pay $40,000 or hire a security company that only uses AI, then that company could drop off some of its AI robots every evening to secure the ground and then pick them up in the morning. There's a lot of ways in which RoboCop is going to be reality, and they predict it'll be a reality in the next couple of years. We're already starting to see robot cops in other parts of the world. So who's king of the world? Elon Musk is king of the world, right? So Elon Musk is the overlord, right? Overlord. How do you spell overlord? Okay, so when Elon Musk was a little boy, He was obsessed with Dungeons and Dragons, so much so that they did a bunch of stuff in order to come up with the money to buy the online version of Dungeons and Dragons. So I invented a funny story inside my head. You know, what if Elon Musk is just programming a virtual reality that you and I are in, and this whole entire thing is a joke, and we just went to his dinner party, and he said, "Hey, put on these headphones. I'm going to take you." It's like, "Oh, Elon, here you go again," right? It could be our buddy is just a computer programmer and we're all hooked up, and eventually it's going to get crazier and crazier and crazier. And it feels like it's been going on for years, but it's, oh, no, no, no. It's only 20 minutes in his living room at his at his cocktail party, right? And then we're going to take the headphones off and we're going to be back at the cocktail party saying, "What the hell was that? Did you like it? I made myself king of the world. It was a lot of fun," right? The dungeon master, right? He made himself the dungeon master because this is starting to look like a virtual reality. This whole thing is a simulation created by a computer programming geek, right? So who would be the most likely culprit if that was true? Elon Musk, in which case none of this is real and it's all pretend, which is why none of it is rational, because we're just living in a simulation created by Elon as a joke, and he's some friend of ours, which is why he seems familiar to all of us. Didn't I know this guy in college, high school, somewhere, right? We've all known somebody like him, right? So that's kind of a funny joke that I make. Like, it's all just a simulation. It's all just, none of this is real. Because I find myself unbelievably calm when I really shouldn't be, right? I should be hysteric. Anybody else hysteric about the results? We knew there was a 50 chance that Trump would win. I didn't know that Elon was going to endorse his campaign. A lot of strange things have been happening to me personally, which is why I thought, oh, it's none of this is real. I'm insane. Something's going on. Either I'm crazy or because nothing that's been happening in the last couple of years has made any sense, and nothing in my world has made any sense. And I wasn't really that interested in Elon Musk until he showed up in Gaza saying, "I want to do a rebuild of Gaza." And I had been working on the Oasis One project. One of the things that I know about Elon Musk is that you don't say no to Elon Musk. If something is going to happen, it's going to happen. He doesn't want to see any more dead kids in Gaza. So is his way of handling things unconventional? Absolutely. Did he think he could get his ideas through via the Democratic Party, even though he agreed with a lot of the principles of the Democratic Party? No. So what did he do? He made himself a MAGA because it was easier to infiltrate MAGA in order to get his personal needs through. So what are his personal needs? First off, he's a strong proponent of getting CO2 levels down, which is why he'll probably be one of the main investors in fake meat in Texas when they start to switch over to lab grown meat. That a lot of that's going to come out of Texas, and a lot of that money is going to come from Elon Musk. Elon Musk doesn't want to see any more people homeless, so he has invested in a house that you can put up in 2 hours. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. You put the house up in 2 hours, and then you've got a beautiful home. The size of the home, they have different sizes of the homes. But they run about $10,000. So these homes, because they can be put up in 2.5 hours, he'll probably get contracts, right? He'll probably get contracts with FEMA because of these homes. But large swaths of land could be opened up so that the homeless or anybody who needs a place to live could have a place to live. And so basically what Elon did is he went with MAGA because there was too much regulation. And it wasn't because he was a fan of MAGA. The whole entire joke is on the world because he's an environmentalist and a huge proponent of CO2 emissions getting down. This is his latest pet project.
For example, disaster relief efforts could benefit enormously from such a concept. These homes could provide temporary or even permanent shelter after natural disasters, where swift, cost-effective housing is essential. Elon Musk's bold vision also underscores his deeper belief in reducing the environmental impact of human activities. The homes are small, which directly limits the resources needed to build and maintain them. Moreover, their integration with Tesla's renewable energy solutions ensures that each home produces as little carbon as possible. This kind of approach mirrors the sustainable innovations Musk has championed in Tesla's electric vehicles. Just as the Model S and Model 3 have made electric cars mainstream, the Tesla house could very well make green, self-sustaining living attainable for a large segment of the population.
So why are so many Democrats laughing and saying, yeah, Trump won. Do you want the keys now? Do you want us to leave it at the front porch? Why are we so calm? Because we won without winning. Because this is a new administration. Because the person that's really calling the shots really isn't MAGA. It was just, I needed to get these concepts out, and it was easier for me to buy in to MAGA than it was to buy into the Democrats because they blocked me too much. But I'm not really MAGA. No, I'm cool. I live with lesbians, right? That's the joke. What is he living with making babies with lesbians, right? We're not supposed to talk about that, right? So he's donating sperm to his lesbian couples, right? He wanted to get his ideas out. I could pretend I'm a victim, right? Oh my God, he took Whimsy's rebuild. He took my idea. Well, I gave it to him. I wrote the IDF and said, I will not take money for this project. It is yours to use and please use to the best of your ability so that we can see peace in the land, and it's given to you, to the IDF, with the belief that you're going to do what's best with it. So it's hard for me to see myself as a victim when I'm the person that wait a minute, where is that? When I'm the one that said, take it. And in the end, I'm not the one that wound up in a bad place. Quite the opposite. I wound up in a really good place because I was able to build something really positive in the world. And people in positions of power who've got a lot more money than me took it seriously. And now something really good, I believe, is going to happen in the world. So I think there's a lot of reasons why I'm not as nervous. Just because the other reason I feel very calm right now is because I know that the trade wars are coming to an end. And the trade wars were very, very, very bad for the economy, for everybody. And it was just getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And it was escalating and escalating and escalating. And then Harris comes in, and we're really going to be dogs fighting down on the ground with China and with Russia, to the last dregs, the last atomic bomb, right? And so on whether people consciously knew what was going on with trade and the fighting for control of the Suez Canal, and how Russia felt screwed over. Russia felt unbelievably screwed over when they had to start pulling their country to pieces, right? How would you feel? Here is the truth of who I am, Whimsy Anderson, right? My job is to be a remote viewer, and you folks don't always like that, because my job as a remote viewer is to give you the worldview of people that you don't necessarily agree or like. So when I put myself in the shoes of what it is to be in Crimea and talk to someone that's pro-Russian, the response I get is, well, we're pro-Russian and our grandmother is pro-Russian. And according to her, when Crimea was part of Russia, things were a lot better. The education system was better. Everybody had an annual physical checkup. Nobody was rich. Talking about occupation. The Russians didn't occupy. These were hard times. The Nazis occupied. The Nazis came in, and the Russians came in. They stabilized the area, and we want to be part of Russia. Why do you have to push your agenda? Many of us here in Crimea don't want this fascism back. We liked life in Crimea under the Russians. We're not saying it was perfect. Yes, there were hard times, but it's better than what was happening before. So we voted to stay with Russia. Now, that is a real conversation that you would be having with pro-Russians. The other argument that Elon Musk uses is, I'm a businessman. And one of the things I've learned to be a successful businessman, this is me as a remote viewer imagining a conversation with Elon Musk. This is how I imagine it would go. I don't have, it's not my job to go and dismantle every country that I sell products to, whether it's cars or technology, innovation, communication, infrastructure, etc., or I'm attempting to buy products from a particular country, heavy metals, etc. What kind of business person would I be if I show up at the sheik's house or this person's house and I start saying, I really don't like your way of life. I really don't like the way you do business. No, that's not how the business world works. The business world works where there's mutual respect and you are gracious and everybody understands that we want to get along so that everybody lives the good life. That's the world of business, Whimsy. And you don't get to just go around dismantling every country that you have. Well, we don't like Xi, we're going to take him out. Well, we don't like Putin, we're going to take him out. Because the people of Russia like Putin. The people of Xi, for the most part, do. You sometimes see this American propaganda. This is the voice of the devil's advocate, by the way. This is not Whimsy's argument. I unsubscribe because I don't like that argument. Well, you're welcome to do that, but I'm a remote viewer, so my job is to give you all the sides, even the sides you don't like. And in this world, in the world that I'm entering into, the people like Putin, the people voted for Putin. They don't appreciate having their country ripped apart. How would you like it if we tore apart Texas and gave Texas back to the Mexicans, or told the people of, helped free the Hopi Indians that you're occupying, or the Nez Perce, or the Dakota Sioux, or the Chumash, or the Duwamish, or all the over 500 nations that you're currently occupying that want their damn land back? How would you like it if we got involved in your business? How would you like it if we helped secede? Let's start with California, give it back to Mexico, then we'll move on to Texas. How would you like it if we did that to you? How would you like it if we gave Alaska back to the Russians? Hawaii back to the indigenous people of Hawaii? Get the hell out. Or Japan, depending, they can duke it out. The point is that was it the business of the United States to come in and start tearing apart someone's country the way the Soviet Union, because we felt that it was our righteous cause to do so? Well, they could have come in and said it was their righteous cause to free the Dakota Sioux, who are currently living under occupation in the Black Hills, right? So what Elon's argument is I do business with these people, and the way I change hearts and minds, it's about changing hearts and minds, Whimsy. This is how you change hearts and minds. But you took my fucking rebuild and you gave it to Donald Trump. I took your rebuild, which you gave me permission to take, and to take those concepts and implement them to the best of my ability to help humanity. With your permission, you denied payment, Whimsy. You refused to take a dime. You were adequately paid because you were published all over the world. In that sense, I got paid, right? I'm the one that said, I'm not. Back. Sorry, I disconnected. So what we were saying is sometimes good things come from crappy situations, and maybe that's what happened here. You know, that maybe even though Trump got in, does that mean that it's going to be the old administration? I don't know. Can everybody hear and see me okay? Sorry, we disconnected. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I've got some goofy yeah, so that was the rebuild that I sent. We've talked a lot about it. Do I feel betrayed that I think that it was given from Elon Musk to Donald Trump? Yes, I think it was given to the IDF. I think it was given to Donald Trump. I think it was given to Elon Musk. And I'm yeah, I'm okay with it.
It could be better than Monaco. It has the best location in the Middle East, the best water, the best everything. It is the best. I've said it for years. When I've been there, and it's rough. It's a rough place before before all of the attacks and before back and forth. What's happened over the last couple of years, and I said, "Wow, look at this." I mean, they'd have the back of a plant facing the ocean. They'd have. There was no ocean as far as that was concerned. They never took advantage of it. As a developer, it could be the most beautiful place. The weather, the water, the whole thing, the climate. It could be so beautiful. It could be the best thing in the Middle East, but it could be one of the best places in the world.
Yeah. So I think that what happens with people like Elon Musk is that he's just very impatient, and he had all these ideas and he wanted them to be implemented right away. And the Democratic Party had blocked him. There was too much regulation for his ideas, like the housing, like the rebuild of Gaza, etc. And so he schmoozed other sellers, basically, other people that he thought were going to take on these causes and who were easier to control, manipulate, buy, whatever. And because Trump was easier to manipulate, he was able to get these concepts through, like this oasis. It could be beautiful. It could be so beautiful. Well, yes, it could be an oasis, right? So no, I'm not upset because I realize that, I'm a victim is just telling yourself another story. And objectively, I'm not a victim. Objectively, I gave the ideas to the IDF. I gave them to Elon Musk, and I wanted them to be implemented. And I wanted people to do what they could to the best of their ability to create a beautiful place in Gaza for everybody. And I believe that that is precisely what they're going to do. And I think what really happened, the joke is that the real reason that Elon did this was because he wanted to get his concepts through sooner. Do I think that not taxing the rich is a problem? Yeah, I think that's a big problem. Do I think he'll be proactive on the environment? Yes, I think it's going to be a very different White House than the previous one because the power is now with Silicon Valley and they want new green contracts, which means that it's likely that they will not be tearing down the old green economy. A couple other things I want to say about this remote. I think the war treaties will get worked out. I think that I fear for the safety of Zelensky. Since this new pact, it's likely that they will probably put a bigger price on the head of Zelensky, and I don't know if he'll ever be safe in Ukraine or anywhere else if this happens, because they will forever see him as a threat to an independent Ukraine. So that's the problem there. Message from Spirit at this time: cultivate your loving core. If you are in pain thinking that no one loves you, begin the romance with yourself. The only thing that matters is love. Therefore, chant, meditate on love. It's not about who the president is or isn't. It's about how much love exists inside of yourself. Do you love yourself? Have you romanced yourself? Have you had a romantic relationship with God? Have you entered into the holy sacred communion between yourself and with God? Has that experience happened for you? And if it has not, why not? Share this love with the world. Once you've attained this communion, you want to share this with the rest of the world, but don't feel obligated to share yourself with the rest of the world until you have attained that awareness of self-love and communion with the divine. The last thing regarding Trump's presidency is that it was apparent to me that he would be removed, that in some level, either because of his mental health problems, he'll be greatly controlled what he can and can't do. They'll be giving him fake papers to sign or something, I don't know. Or they will actually remove him. But it will become increasingly obvious to the Republicans that he is unfit to serve, and there is going to be some kind of action. I predict there is an action or series of actions that will prevent Donald Trump from either serving or serving long term. Remember the dream I had where I saw him screaming in the rotunda like a lunatic? Oh, he's back again, and he's screaming in the rotunda. Well, he's back again. He's been reelected. Now I understand but why was he back in the rotunda? Like, I was having a real hard time and telling the North Koreans, hey, come take a look. The crazy man is screaming in the rotunda. He's back again. So he's back again screaming in the rotunda, which leaves me to believe that it will become increasingly, his insanity will become so apparent that some kind of action will have to take place. All right, so that is all I have for you. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Be sure and also, if you haven't checked out our book, The True Nature of Energy, Transforming Anxiety into Tranquility. It was written by Diane Wing. I know you'll enjoy it. She'll be in our studios on November 19th. That's a Tuesday. Taco Tuesdays at 6:30, right before Thanksgiving. If you're looking for a really cool Hanukkah or Christmas present to give people, this may be the book for you. All right, special shout out to everyone who is helping to manage the stream today. We've got a lot to talk about. Let's debate Elon Musk view of the world. You give people the good. You don't try and overthrow countries just because you don't agree with them. Also, in the remote, he said he did support the fall of Iran because it was the will of the people of Iran and because it was a homegrown internal revolution, which tells me that Iran will fall. Yeah. But the people wanted what Elon is saying in the remote is that the people themselves want Putin, and that your depiction of Putin as this thug who goes around killing everybody is not their perception. He's a person that's willing to fight and die for Russia. And Russia was screwed over with the fall of the Soviet Union. And if we did the same thing to you and turned your economy into one that's worse than Italy and then made it out like we're evil, screw you. We want our ports back. We want our freaking money back. We want our lives back. And many of the people here want to be part of Russia. So it's an interesting thing to be in the middle of the debate and not telling you how you should fall into this debate, but just to be aware that there's more than one side to it and it's an important conversation, and to appreciate the job of a powerful businessman who has security clearances that's negotiating as a type of ambassador to the United States and has to be able to get along with these countries at the same time, is on this thin where if our country's official policy is to condemn something or to condemn China, but the business people are still having to do business with these countries. My personal opinion is not appreciated in the business meeting. I just think that it's a very, little people like me. I'm a little person. I'm not a big person. I'm a little tiny person, right? I'm a nobody, right? And so because we're nobodies, we don't have multi-billion-dollar contracts. We're not hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein getting fake or getting film footage on people we can call. We're not in the big leagues, right? We're little people. And so we just think that life should be fair and that it should be a certain way. And that's just not how that's just not how the real world works. And I think that is the other takeaway here, that powerful people may be trying to do things that they think are good in their own way, but it's just not the way that we do it. It's just not the way that I live my life. You know what I mean? All right. Thank you to Joel Tilson for helping out today. We're going to be doing the Empaths Prayer. Did I take it further that way? I'm trying to always figure out does it go this way? If you'd like to be included in the Empaths Prayer and to receive a healing for yourself or your family, please be sure and give us your name or the name of the person that needs a healing at this time, and we will be sure and include them in our prayers. And then we'll do a collective reading so that everybody can receive a reading for the week. And then after that, we'll do some blitzes. Does that work for everybody? All right. I give Elon more credit. Well, my job is to give Elon his voice as a remote viewer. This is his voice as I hear it in my head as a remote viewer, right? So I could just be completely making the whole entire thing up. But the exercise of trying to put him in my head and see things the way he sees the world has helped me grow and see the complexity of the situation. So there was once asked by the Dalai Lama if this particular technique, which we use, heart-centered remote viewing, is just in your head. Are you just making this crap up, imagining you're having a conversation with Elon Musk higher self so that you can understand him? And the response from the Dalai Lama is, well, does it make you more compassionate because you're able to have compassion, hopefully, for the people that you're trying to connect with, right? All right, so let's go ahead and include those of you who need prayers. Yes, he cheated. He's an unethical person. Elon Musk is, by my standards, an unethical person. He lies, he cheats, he steals, he shorts cryptocurrency. There's a lot of things he does that I personally, Whimsy Anderson, have a moral and ethical problem with. But I still enjoy remote viewing him. I could be a lot richer too if I was a criminal. When I was a young I used to be a fashion model when I was younger. I could have been a very expensive call girl and I could have made a lot of money, but just being honest, I know people that did, but it freaked me out too much, this idea of being with people I didn't care about, right? So using the pretty to get rich, right? A lot of people did that I know did that. They married, they were trophy wives, or they became high-end call girls, or I just let it all go. Stop wearing a lot of makeup. I just let it all go and chose to be a nerd instead. Read books. It's easy to be triggered. I mean, one of the things that triggers me about this Elon Musk and Donald Trump and this whole thing is that it makes me feel like I'm a nobody. So we're nobodies? We're nobodies. They're the somebodies and we're the nobodies. And that bothers me. That bothers me that you have people like Epstein who think that we're just nothing. We're nothing. You're just the little people, and there are things going on that are just beyond anything that you little people could possibly understand with your little toys and your little YouTube channel. That bothers me because I worked very hard on my thesis. And then just to take someone's thesis and laugh them out of the room while you're taking their thesis, it pushes buttons. The human beings have not been treating each other for a very long time, and that's not good. Yeah. Love and hate him. Well, I learned from his shadow. Like, if you have a mentor who's most mentors are perverts. I mean, most mentors are terrible people. I mean, how many gurus have we had that turned out to be child molesters? I mean, every time you turn around, there's another one. So just because somebody makes you think or inspires you to think about things differently, it doesn't mean that you necessarily are okay with them. I can identify with his lack of patience, the fact that he just bypasses laws. Well, we're going to build Oasis now. No, we're doing it now. Plow through. But they said, and then this government, and then the UN, I don't care. I mean, that's Elon Musk. I don't care. I want it. Well, but the Democrats, screw the Democrats. But the Democrats are going to block Oasis 1 because blah, what are you talking about? Biden approved the 5-point thesis. Something must have happened because the Israeli cabinet collapsed. The Israeli war cabinet collapsed. So some of it didn't work. Some of it didn't work. And I think it had to do with Elon and Trump and Netanyahu taking Oasis 1 for themselves, and that they were going to move it in this direction, and they were going to bring on Kushner and the Abraham Accords. All that's a nice idea, but something about it caused a major break in Israel. I'm just going to wait and see how it plays itself out. But that's what Elon did. He just went to the people who he thought would help it go faster. All right, let's pray for those you love and pray for yourself. If you want to be included in the prayers, please give us your names, and we will make it. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, as a community, we say, Amen. And for those of you who are requesting prayers at this time for yourselves and for those you love, we come together collectively as a community and we send healing prayers and healing thoughts to those people who've been listed, who've placed their names, the names of their loved ones on the list. We pray that you receive the love, compassion, and healing that you need, and that you receive a perfect healing. And we come together collectively as a community, and again we say, Amen. Amen. May all souls be healed. Amen. Okay, so I'd like to give you all a collective reading for the week if you would like that. And then after that, we'll do some blitzes for the world. Does that work? What y'all eating? What y'all drinking? Did you have breakfast yet? Those of you who are in Europe, maybe you're having a little tequila, a little, I don't know, what do they drink? They don't drink tequila over there, do they? Having a little something, maybe they're having an evening aperitif. Maybe you're having tea time. Well, I have not had breakfast yet. I made homemade bread. Twice now I've ordered delivery, and twice now they've been out of bread. It's been very strange. Yes, I don't know. They don't replace, I don't know. Anyway, I made homemade bread last night. It was very good. I'm having just a good old-fashioned cup of coffee. I've got some cinnamon in it, milk, and yeah. Then I'm going to have, well, for breakfast, I will probably have a green smoothie. In fact, I know I will. I always pretty much have the same thing. I do the protein and greens by the company Paradise because it's got the adrenals and the mushrooms and everything. So I know that at least one meal a day is good. I throw in some frozen berries, flax, walnuts, oats, oat milk, or almond milk, and I blend it. And I have that probably 5-6 times a week. And it's just a way of making sure you're getting really good nutrition. It's got all the medicinal mushrooms, all the adaptogenic. It's really good. All right. Your collective reading. What is the message from Spirit for you for the week? What is the message from Spirit to you for the week? If you haven't had a chance to like yet or subscribe or think about memberships, it's a great way to support the channel. Also, thank you to those of you who've decided to donate for the Center of Policing Equity. Thank you. Where you are at right now for this week, the group, your wishes have been granted. Your wishes have been granted. There's good news coming for the week. Good things are coming this week. We could be seeing the end of war, people coming in to have meetings to stop the wars. I feel an energy of armistice is coming to the world. Okay, you're right. You're right. We can't continue on like this. We've got to begin to share this toys, children. Nine of Cups moving into base position. It was always about the trade routes, right? It was always about the trade routes. And then the karma is good health. Get out and enjoy the sunshine. Have you been agoraphobic, feeling like something's wrong? I'm being held hostage in my own home. Like everybody sensed something didn't feel right. The conservatives out in the Appalachians, they knew that they were being held hostage, but they thought it was from the Democrats. No, you were being held hostage from Russia and China that were retaliating, right? But we have all this beautiful, loving, healing energy coming in with the Page of Cups. It brings the elixir, the omega-3s, and Nine of Cups, which is your wish has been granted. Where you're at right now, you're in a place of magician. You are not a victim. You are the creator. You are a co-creator, and you can create whatever you want. Your crossing card at this time is you know who you are. You are a defender and a protector of the land. You fight the good fight. What is above you? Nine of Swords. Watch your sleep. Stop stressing about things. The horrible will one day happen. You will die. Okay. So get on with your life. Contemplate your own death. This is something in Buddhism. I contemplate my death, my breathing, that I'm old now, that I'm not a young, pretty little thing anymore. I think about those things all the time, but Nine of Swords is what will become of me? I'll be on this. Okay, so you wind up. Have you ever just sat in your car and meditated or tried to have a nap in your car? Okay, so what if this happened? What would it be like? Okay, well, what if I slept on the street? Maybe I should sleep on the street tonight and see what that would be like. It's like, so you die. We're all going to die. It's just like, I feel like Debbie Downer. But Nine of Cups is stressing about things. We have to get away from the stress. Entering into this new romantic, creative, fun time. It's actually a really good time. Nine of Pentacles would also indicate that many of you are shoring up great ideas for your creative futures. The writer is coming out in many of you, the artist, the dreamer, the person who dreams. Also financial stability. If you want to be financially stable, you will read and learn everything you can about frugal living, and you will make it happen. Worst comes to worst, you can always move to an abandoned home in Portugal or Italy or Japan, and then it's only $300 a month, and you can just move into some dying village in Portugal. I was checking out a couple of those rooms to rent in the middle of nowhere, Portugal, because there's a part of me that just wouldn't mind living in a small, sleepy village in Portugal. And it's like $300 a month. So I'm like, I should just get the hell out of here. I don't want to work. You have options. The new Tesla houses that are eco-friendly. You can always get one of those and just rent on a lot for $400 a month. Everything's fine. Nothing terrible is going to happen to you. Just get on with your life. Hopes and fears, 10 of Cups. I want more love in my life. Answer is, have you fallen in love with yourself yet? Have you fallen in love with yourself yet? If you are trying to get away from yourself, then likely no one else wants to be around you either. And then the final outcome for you, 5 of Pentacles, feeling, excuse me, feeling locked out of the church. Oh, no, wait a minute. The other feels locked out of the church. I was like, is that right? You are in the place of the 10 of Cups. Others feel locked out of the church. Wow, the people that didn't treat you right aren't doing very well. A lot of people with regrets regarding their relationships with you in the past, because this is your opposition out in the cold. The hopes and the fears, 5 of Wands, that you will not learn enough. You're just like me. You feel like you are never learning enough. There's never enough time to, that's time that could have been spent learning. I just play the violin all day long. And then the final outcome for you is Lovers. Learn to reach across the aisle. Learn to develop a stronger, look at, she develops a relationship with God, and then this makes her more attractive. The stronger your relationship is, your internal love towards self and the divine, going into the core self, go deeper and deeper into the heart, into the core, loving yourself, the better for you, the better for the world, the better for humanity. If you truly want to influence the world in a way that is significant, develop that core relationship of love between yourself and the Creator. And the clarification for you at this time is, it's the Wheel of Fortune. You know, the Wheel of Fortune keeps churning. The Wheel of Fortune keeps churning. Your grandparents came and went. My grandparents came and went. You will come and go. You only get to stay on this, rotating ball for a short amount of time. Your legacy, hopefully it was a loving one. Hopefully you weren't lying to yourself. I'm a good person, while simultaneously not being all that nice. It's important that we be honest with ourselves and honest about the legacy we are trying to create for ourselves. Your opposition grieves. Boy, somebody is just really hurt. I'm seeing people hurt and lost who you don't want to have. You've either judge them, or the people that you had issues with in the past, you were right, they were wrong, they know it. I mean, look at this. Look at your opposition grieving and told you so. Hopes and fears over the fighting. 4 of Swords. I fear death too. I fear physical death, something happening to my body. I'm just terrified of all those things. 4 of Swords. Make meditation. Be committed to the internal divine love, your internal love, your relationship, and then you can share it. And then regarding love of self and giving to the rest of the world, the clarification for you is Knight of Pentacles. Slow down. You don't have to conquer the world. You don't have to do it all. It's okay to just do less. Enjoy the view. Knight of Pentacles is about slowing down and enjoying the view, and just working on your own internal dialogue. Yeah. All right. And so that is your reading. Thank you, Ms. Bonds. That's very sweet of you. Just work on internal self-love, keep your homes clean and organized. Keep your finances clean and organized. If you make $1,000, try to only spend $750. Cut corners where you can. Live frugally. Live below your means. Develop a loving relationship with yourself through a consistent spiritual practice and meditation. And try and be true to yourself. I think that's what the cards are saying. Be true to yourself. I mean, for example, I respect people who are vegans, but I never do it. I never do well as a vegan. I was thinking about that recently. If I was true to myself and I was going to go live on a commune, it would have to be a commune that was not vegetarian. Because I'll have vegetarian a couple times a week, but I'm not going to be a vegetarian. It's just not going to happen. I don't feel good. So I'll deal with the karmic consequences later, right? It's like, yeah, I blame the creator of this simulation because they made me an omnivore with an O positive blood type. What I was not. If it made me feel better, I would be vegan, but it doesn't, unfortunately. All right. We have been given the order to blitz, blitz, blitz away. We're going to go ahead and do it. First question is coming from Joel Tilson. Will Trump and Musk clash? Well, since it's not Trump's presidency, it's Elon Musk's president, right? So I would say yes. I think that there's going to be clashes. There's a couple clashes coming up. One clash is that if the truth comes out about him, I don't think that Elon is going to protect him. So you have truth coming out, and then Elon Musk is in the healthy category. So it may be that they just wanted less regulation. They we just wanted to get our trade out. Yeah. Hopes and fears the green economy and the final outcome, Seven of Wands, defending himself. So he must have bought and paid for it. I don't know. I don't think he trusts Elon Musk entirely, because there are things that Elon Musk doesn't tell him. You know, a new beginning awaits him, and then there's secrets being kept between the two of them. But to be honest with you, I don't think it's a bad idea to have Elon Musk as his advisor, because it's one of the, I mean, rather than a religious nut job, yeah, I'll take Elon Musk. He's a pasty for the heritage. Does he? I don't know if he even believes in that crap. I don't believe that Elon Musk believes in God. And he's pretty much said that he does. He believes, what does he believe? He doesn't believe in God. He believes in the religion of curiosity. I want to learn everything I can while I'm alive. Is Musk a good guy or a bad guy? I think he has done some terrible things. Shorting cryptocurrency, getting people to invest in crappy coins and then shorting it and then moving the money into Bitcoin by creating fake runs on worthless coins. And then now he owns a third of the Bitcoin. That's evil. That's wrong. Endorsing Donald Trump, who's a rapist, etc., so that he could, because he got impatient with the Democratic Party. He used to be a Democrat, by the way. Because they wouldn't get his contracts through. Well, we have to go through this regulation. So this has gotten ridiculous. I need to get these contracts. I want these homes built. The homeless situation is out of control in California. Screw you, I'm out of here. So he went over to the Republican Party. He will be remembered in history as a remarkable human being that has done remarkable things for many, many people. But he also did some terrible things. He basically stole people's money. Debbie Brady's, don't blame Whimsy or any other reader. They were reading the energy at that moment in time. Not quite sure what, because I don't see what that's a reference to, Debbie. I know this is probably hard for people to hear, but I had a bad feeling about this race. I wasn't 100% confident that Harris could win, and I didn't really know ethically how to handle that, other than to tell people, get out the vote. She could win or lose. But I was looking at the videos I've made where I said Trump could win this thing, and it dawned on me that nobody was watching those videos. That people were only watching the videos where I would say, you know what, we get out, just calm down, go out and vote, we'll win. And I think that what happens is that people only watched the things that reinforced their confidence. And one of the things you learn when you study human psychology and neuroscience is that it's human nature to do that, that we will create stories for ourselves. I needed to believe that she was going to win because I didn't want to accept that human beings could be this screwed up. But then when I remote viewed it from Elon Musk perspective, I realized that it was so complicated that the reasons why people he was endorsing Trump had to do with reasons that had nothing to do with me as a civilian just voting. I'm voting on issues like protecting the education department. He's voting in terms of getting trade out and ending the trade war and getting the rebuild done. And the fact you want the rebuild done, Whimsy? Do you want the rebuild done? You want the rebuild done, Whimsy? Then you need to let me do this. Because if we let the Democrats handle it, they'll be sitting around talking about the rebuild and a two-state solution for the next 30 years. You want it done? It's done. There, you happy? It's done. So I'm so confused at this point. I don't even know, because I am directly involved, even though I've been completely pushed out of the rebuild. They don't talk to me. I have no idea what the hell they're doing with the rebuild. But I wrote the skeleton for it. So it would be nice if people would tell me something. But what I know for sure is that Elon was impatient. He wanted it and he wanted it now. And so he paid the people necessary to make it happen now and to end the trade war. Yeah. The issue of gay and straight, he's pretty upset about his daughter abandoning him. That's true. And he's really screwed up about his son dying. His son died of Sid's death. And I don't think people realize that he's never going to be normal from that. I mean, I don't think that even he's consciously aware of how he's still screwed up. He thinks about it every day. Billy Verdi, I was in the presence of an artist who was smoking drugs on the way to an anti-drug rally. I want nothing to do with Elon Musk. I'm not sure what the reference is. Okay, Rose Blue. These small, great homes are great. I wanted one for the last 2 years. Affordable, well, yeah, they're going to run about $10,000, and they take 2 hours for the company to come in and just establish them. So if you wanted to buy some land with some of your friends, buy a couple of acres, everybody puts in $5,000 or whatever, and you could probably get a loan from the bank. You could just put up a bunch of these homes, and then everybody would have a place to live. I think I'll probably buy one. I might buy some land or buy a plot on somebody who's already buying land and will hook up my water. And so no one, in the next couple of years, no one's going to be homeless there. I mean, that's why I think everyone needs to just lighten up. Or you could move to Portugal. It's $300 a month. I don't want to move to Portugal. Well, then get one of those houses. You can get the large ones. They got also 500 square foot. I don't think there was a timeline shift, Intuitive Kathy. I've heard that argument. I think the people and I've also heard that 20 million ballots are missing. I don't agree with either of those. I don't think 20 million ballots are missing. I think the American people couldn't take it anymore. I think we all felt the stress. And I think that they voted for they want their inflations they want the inflation down. It was the economy. Did MAGA help? Did MAGA hack the servers to help Trump? Let's see what the cards say. We know my opinion, but let's see what the cards say. Was there a hacking of the servers? Hacking of the servers. 2 of Wands. Theft. Somebody ran off with votes. 9 of Cups. 7 of Wands. Defense. Yes, there was a theft of votes. Votes were stolen. Would it, in the end, have made a difference? That's the question. A theft of votes is going to be exposed. There's some kind of an investigation, but the Democrats will give up. So in plain words, say they stole a couple million votes, it does not appear to have been enough to have impacted the election, because you can see the FBI 2 of Wands partnership, the Empress with a thief, exposure of a thief. 7 of Swords is the thief in the opposition, would indicate a theft. The hopes and fears. King of Cups, which I assume is the president. Biden gets his wish. And then we defend our territory. And then we have an 8 of Cups, which is to walk away from the thing we built, which leads me to think that the protest will come to naught. And that while we may find some discrepancies, they are not great enough to have impacted the election. And that the majority of American voters voted for Trump, and it was based on the economy and inflation. But since people only hear what they want to hear, there will be no memory of me saying any of this. I don't believe the votes were, I don't believe that, I believe Trump is the president because he's the one that the people voted for. And that none of the shenanigans ultimately had a great enough, there's always shenanigans, but ultimately what is the will of the majority of Americans is Trump. And that it's an America that you and I probably should get to know, because they're not going anywhere. All right, Debbie Brady, let's not project into the future. That has not happened yet. Things are still shifting. I think the future looks pretty good. I'm thinking everybody's going to have a home. Everybody can afford a place to live now in the next couple of years. Everything's moving towards the new green economy. I'm concerned about the Department of Education, but we'll still be getting money from the feds. It'll just fall back to the states. And so the state, it'll put more pressure on the states to raise state taxes, which means it'll fall on the people what kind of education system they want. They'll have state education systems. K Travel Tarot, I believe the tabulating servers were hacked. I feel as if Biden is going to have this investigated before January 20th. Yes. The hacking, karma. Yes, we always have to do an investigation afterwards to any kind of, anytime there's an election, there's going to be a post-mortem. But it will probably result in Trump being elected. It's karmic, investigating who was responsible. Emperor, I'm not seeing anything dramatic happening here. Evidence brought before the courts. The fastest way to block Trump from being president would be to show clear evidence that he is a clear and present danger or threat to the United States. But I don't know how that would be done. Will J.D. Vance be the president? Let's take a look. Will J.D. Vance be the president? Walking away from the emperor. Hopes and fears the devil. Ace of Pentacles. This makes no sense whatsoever, but the future for J.D. Vance is that he will leave the political world. This is according to the cards, and he will enter into the business world. And part of the reason is that he will exit his relationship with Trump. There's going to be a falling out because you have the 8 of Cups, which is to leave the presidency, the devil, and then Ace of Pentacles, a large chunk of money is offered for J.D. Vance. I don't know what's going on with JD Vance, but I just don't know if I see a future there. We'll just have to see it play itself out. But it's almost suggesting that he would do better in the outside of the political sphere. Yeah. So I would say with these cards, it's likely he won't. He won't stay. Will Biden use his executive powers? Probably not. Nine of Wands, he's limited in what he can do. He's up against a lot of powerful forces. Two of Swords. Well, one of the things that Democrats can do is be passive aggressive and refuse to help. They will refuse to help him. That's the main thing. Yeah. Because there's this Two of Swords coming in, and that would lead me to suspect that the Democrats, you're not going to get help even with the phone number of the cleaning lady. It's a real passive aggressive do it yourself. But I don't know, again, I don't see it being enough to block the president. He's crazy though, that's for sure. Women's rights falls under the category that you would think we would be moving towards an amendment, and that part of the amendment would also include a woman's right to choose. Women impoverished. So women in the cold, women screwed over again. The truth coming out. Archangel Michael is with the women. That's very interesting. The dun, 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 the Knight of Truth. And the final outcome is 10 of Wands. So they make great suffering for women. You know, it's like the Taliban, where women are just in the cold, depressed, battered. And you have some men saying, well, that's not what we wanted. We didn't want you cold, battered in the cold, dragging you down. A heavy load is placed on women. The solution I would give is to have women, if you're raising a girl, have her get her tubes tied as soon as she hits 18. Hey, have it done at 14. I mean, that's how disgusting the world is we're living in. I mean, it sounds harsh, but the only way to protect her from being seeded by a predator, which is what they want the free monkeys, predators, to go around and be able to seed any 14-year-old they like. It's basically free monkeys jumping around, raping kids. And there's nothing you can do about it because we made it legal, right? So the emotional response, if you care about young girls, is, wow, we should probably have you sterilized as soon as possible, right? Since this is the new world we live in. You wanted babies, right? Elon Musk likes making babies as part of his sexual fantasy, right? He wants to have 100 babies. He likes inseminating women left and right, right? So this is what you want. So for every action, there's a reaction of equal or greater force. So what will happen? More and more women will try to get sterilized. What's going to happen as a response of that? More and more men are going to make it legally difficult for Planned Parenthood and other organizations to create sterilization opportunities for women. How do we know? Because this is what happened in the 1950s, when hysterectomy was considered politically incorrect, when women were actually going to take it all out. I don't want any more babies. The only way they could protect themselves before IUDs were safe, before all of that, was they simply, from being inseminated by, being in a common law marriage was just basically being held hostage and raped every day. I mean, it's like some guy could grab you, hold you hostage in a room, and make babies with you, and then voila, you're a common law wife. Those days are coming back. So the reaction from women back in the day was they would just get themselves hysterectomies left and right. Everybody got a hysterectomy. So for every action, there's a reaction of either of greater or equal force, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Is that women are turning from men, and you can't force women to love you. You know, you can't rape them and breed them into loving you. You know, this is the complaint that Afghanistan. Why doesn't anyone come to visit Afghanistan? We want more tourism. You want me, an American woman with a doctoral degree and who's financially somewhat stable, to spend my hard-earned money giving it to you after what you did to women in Afghanistan? You're not going to get a fucking dime from me. So what usually happens in situations like this is it leads to economic collapse because you've oppressed the economic opportunities of 50% of your work population by forcing them into breeding programs. When you force breed females and deny them access to work, your economy will collapse. And that's what happened with the forced breeding programs out of places like Afghanistan, where they were just take them at 12 and breed them. No more education, because education only makes unhappy slaves, which is why they opposed women getting educated, because the only thing that education was doing is creating miserable, depressed, unhappy slaves dreaming about a better life. So it's better that women never learn to read and write. Never get a pair of shoes, and then you won't miss when your shoes get a hole in them. So that is the mentality of the oppressor. That is the mentality of the Taliban. Keep us stupid and inseminated as fast as possible. And make them happy. Get the slave pregnant again, right? So that's what they think they're coming into, right? Ballerina. What is that? Ballerina Farm Girl, or what is that show? The best way to resist is to love yourself and to do everything in your power to not let people like this have access to you. You don't get to be a part of my life. I don't want you in my life. I don't want somebody that would misuse and abuse their power like that. This is why when people ask me about Elon Musk, do I think he's evil? I think he's an extremely complicated person who's doing unbelievably amazing positive things for the world, but I also think he's doing amazingly horrible, awful, terrible, evil things. And the best way to win is to disengage. That's my advice. The best way to win with people like this is that they don't get to be a part of your life anymore. Learn to love yourself. Learn to have a divine relationship with God. Take care of your finances. Live frugally. Don't compete with the Joneses. And well, that's why we need an amendment, Giovanni. We need an amendment because if we had an amendment in all 50 states that women are people, because right now in the United States, there's no acknowledgement that women are people. Right? So we're not people yet in the technical sense of the world. We're sort of people. We do get to vote, right? So, but we're not really in the technical sense, right? They elected a rapist in chief who enjoys not only breeding them, but raping them and doing whatever he likes. I mean, look at Donald Trump. He's been having a jolly good time raping and molesting teenagers and everybody else. And the American people don't have a problem with it. So I think the reason we got the president we voted for. You know, I mean, you could start communes. You could start communes that are women only, which is what they've done in Africa, where they have women's villages where males are barred from access. And that goes back to the idea of Oshun, where she goes to sit and powder her nose on the moon because of men are going to take us. They are going to rape us. They're going to have it. They're going to take what they can take. And that's the way it's been throughout time, right? So Oshun on the moon is the symbol of the raped, of exploited, abused woman who decides that you can go fuck yourself. And she decides that she is going to go and live somewhere else. And she has a beautiful divine relationship with herself, with God. She knows her worth, but she doesn't sit around the divine feminine. She doesn't sit around being a good little slave, doing whatever men want for their pleasuring. Got to pleasure the men. How can we pleasure the men? I just don't think that this is the image of Oshun that I would want to have. I mean, of the divine feminine. No, she says, oh, so that's the way it's going to be. I'm here for your pleasuring. Breed those women. Great. Well, I got a surprise for you. This is not how you get a woman to love you. This is not how you get a woman to respect you. And so the only thing that happens is that women become depressed, suicidal. We don't have to do any of that. We just need to disappear like she did. She disappeared into her beauty, into the divine feminine. She became even more divine, even more feminine, even more self-respect. But she wanted nothing to do with men. She went and she just lived in her beautiful world of femininity and sexuality while the men sat around drooling, and she wanted nothing to do with them. You want women back in your life, treat me like a fucking human being. That's the teachings of Oshun. And I think that we are in the time of Oshun. We're in the time of the divine feminine. Yeah. Well, on that happy note, good things are coming. Good things are coming. Thank you so much, Francis Shatiris, for your Fairies and Angels membership. Much appreciated. We're winning because the new economy is the new green economy, and we're winning because it's dawning on men. Hey, this beautiful, wonderful woman that I want to get and breed with doesn't want to have anything to do with me because I'm a piece of garbage. Look at Joe Rogan. Look at Joe Rogan. Think about all the women he's going to really want that he's never going to get because of the fact that he endorsed this guy. You look at somebody like Elon Musk. He's got all the money in the world, but a true woman of integrity, a true woman that can carry her own weight, a lady who relies on no one, the kind of a woman he's really going to want to breed with, right? She's going to want to have nothing to do with him. So that the only thing that they've achieved is a hell of their own creation. If a man cannot answer a simple question on a date, who did you vote for? If you find him stumbling or, there won't be a second date. It's so simple, right? We had the lowest inflation in the world, Mary, but we still had a trade route, and people are still starving in North Korea, and there's still a famine happening in Cuba. It's the trade wars have to end. It's enough already. The regular people are suffering too much. They're right. The trade wars have to end. At the same time, I'm not ready to abandon Ukraine. I still want to see Putin on trial for war crimes. Right. All right, everyone. On that happy note, if you're trying to get in for a reading with me, you can find the information below. You can book me through Booksy, or for a quick, inexpensive reading, you can book through Wizio. Yes, I've got it there. Lovely. Yes, it's there. Wizio. Yes, Wizio is, I pre-tape it. I think it takes 5 minutes. I think it costs like $30 or something. If you need it within 48 hours, I think it costs $50. And then if you want to talk to me one-on-one on the phone and get a reading, that's done through Booksy. All right. Thank you, Debbie Brady, Creative Director Extraordinaire, for your help today. She also started a really great fan club for the Oracle of Whimsy over there. So, yeah. All right. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. We'll see you next time. Love yourself, celebrate yourself, love yourself the way you wish your beloved would love you. Instead, fall in love with God. Let God make love to you. Let God romance you. And avoid the people that don't treat you right. And don't spend a lot of time thinking about this green blob or orange blob or whatever the hell he is. All right, we're out of here. Bye.